Hello people, today I would like to take you to the Lion's Den, where money rules and intrigues are hatched even before breakfast. Yes, we are talking about the great House Lannister. I will try to summarize their story, but due to the multi-threading it may be a difficult task. Let's start with the family seat, Casterly Rock. It is a huge castle located above a gold mine, which is the main reason for the wealth of House Lannister. Thanks to its location on a high rock, it provides a great view of Lannisport and the Sunset Sea. Its location above a gold mine gives access to a complex network of underground tunnels that can be used for both surprise attacks during defense and evacuation in times of danger. However, locating the castle in such a difficult location is a great move, as Casterly Rock is an impregnable fortress. House Lannister itself is filled with intrigue, betrayal, elaborate plans, and purses of gold. Yes, gold plays a huge role in the life of this family. They rule with an iron hand, not hesitating to kill or order assassinations. After all, a noble house cannot be stained with the blood of commoners, right? The family's playable characters include Jaime Lannister, known as the Kingslayer; Tyrion Lannister, called the Dwarf; Cersei Lannister, called the Queen Regent. Their father is Tywin Lannister, who does not appear in the game, and their mother is Joanna Lannister. Speaking of age, Jaime and Cersei are twins, while Tyrion is 8 years younger than them, and half the size. Jaime Lannister, at the age of 15, joined the Kingsguard, and was named the Kingslayer, a guard killing a king. Well, to understand this, I would have to go back to the events of the series, and that could take forever. To make a long story short, Jaime killed Aerys Targaryen to prevent him from burning down the capital of the Seven Kingdoms. Yes, Aerys Targaryen was a mad king whose madness knew no restraint. Aerys Targaryen was Daenerys Targaryen's father, so her bloodline was also royal blood. But that's not who this video is about. Since I recorded a whole separate episode about Jaime Lannister, I will only tell the commander briefly about him, which I hope will be forgiven. Jaime's army skills focus on the defense and health of spearmen, as well as the all-out attack of the army. Strategic skills, on the other hand, focus on only 3 spearmen stats: attack, defense, and health. His awakening ability, however, is the heart of the weakness synergy. When allied troops receive healing, their attacks become weak point attacks. This is a huge buff, but requires healing, which Jaime doesn't have on its own. However, commanders such as Arslan, Drake, Hector, Latskarin, and Enzo have them. Jaime is a commander available from packs and during numerous in-game events. Let's move on to Tyrion Lannister. He is the youngest of the siblings, and what is more, he was born as a dwarf, and the birth killed his mother. He is hated by his father, despised by his sister, and the only person who cares about him in any way is Jaime, his brother. Thanks to his past, he has become a warrior of the pen, plotting and planning every move forward. He killed his father at the worst moment for him, namely when he was sitting in the outhouse. His eloquence and wit often got him out of trouble when shit hit the fan. His past and being despised even by family members have created enormous amounts of empathy in him, thanks to which he does not hesitate to associate with commoners and people of lower birth, unlike the rest of his family. As a commander, he is useful for F2P players as he is available for free during daily events, the Elite Trial Alliance event, and various other events. His army skills increase his research speed, as well as his defense and total attack when deployed. His strategic skills increase all total parameters, i.e. defense, health, and attack. Noteworthy is his rage attack, which blocks the ability to heal the target. Unfortunately, its duration is quite short, literally just a few seconds. His awakening ability can save seemingly lost battles. After 20 seconds of combat, there is a 50% chance that part of the enemy army will retreat from the battlefield. The only downside is that they have to take counter damage, which is how spearmen counter cavalry. This reduces the range of possibilities a bit, but honestly, even Tier 1 can turn around Tier 5, which improves the situation for this awakening skill significantly. Tyrion is a great commander for both new players and those with years of experience, as speeding up research requires nothing more than having him in your collection. His weapon is also a very useful toy, as it speeds up the moment the army turns around, while increasing the chances of it happening and also increasing the counter damage. Tyrion himself is both incompatible with any synergy and can be useful in any synergy. It is not necessary anywhere, but due to the lack of other possibilities, it will work in in every place because its awakening ability is universal. The problem is time, as it can take a really long time to unlock his awakening ability. We move on to the last but not the least important heroine of today's episode, Cersei Lannister. Cersei is a cunning and ambitious person. This goes partly with intellect, but only partly. Her actual incompetence comes to light when she gains more and more power in Westeros after the death of her husband, Robert Baratheon, who was the king. His death was caused by her intrigues, and the actual cause of death was tragic wounds while hunting with Ned Stark. She had 3 royal children, but unofficially and in fact, they were the fruits of an incestuous relationship with her brother, Jaime. She became the actual queen only after the death of her youngest son, Tommen, who committed suicide after seeing his mother condemn his beloved wife and even the entire city to death in green fire. Cersei, as a commander, is of legendary class. This means that it is very difficult to get for free, and it is mainly aimed at P2W players. Both her army skills and strategic skills focus on the army's total stats. Of note is her awakening ability, Wildfire Alarm, which gives the opponent a 20% chance to miss an attack for 4 seconds. However, there is one counter to this skill, namely attacking the weak point, i.e. weakness synergy. Attacks to the weak spot don't miss, so Cersei's ability only deals extra damage to them. The situation is different in strategic skill. It increases all damage by 50%, additionally removes debuffs and locks debuffs for 4 seconds. Remember, don't confuse damage with attack. 50% damage is not only a comprehensive buff, but it is also calculated based on the actual damage dealt. Unfortunately, Cersei's exclusive weapon does not change the situation for unlucky players, as it only increases the chances of the opponent missing the attack. It does not increase the chance of applying a debuff, nor does it provide a 100% miss chance at maximum level. It is not necessary for this commander, but it significantly increases her chances, so unless you are extremely unlucky, I definitely recommend purchasing it, although it's not cheap. Speaking of synergy, Cersei fits the female synergy perfectly. Her awakening ability requires only the use of army skills and a bit of luck, and thanks to synergy with Layla Mormont and Salma, she can make the opponent unable to even hit her. Of course, this requires both luck and missing the synergy of weaknesses, which, as I mentioned above, is its nemesis. To sum up House Lannister, one can only say that intrigue and money act on them like catnip on a cat. However, we cannot forget about Tyrion and his empathy, as well as Jaime, who sacrificed his good name for a just cause. This is a complicated situation because it is not the genes that make the person, but the environment in which he or she works. Cersei, who probably learned to plot before she could walk, is the opposite of Tyrion, who learned to use his head when he realized he couldn't accomplish much more with his crippled body. From their parents, they received an inheritance in both the material and metaphysical treasury because none of the 3 siblings is ignorant of worldly matters. They fight for their right, each in their own way, and while Tyrion tries to avoid unnecessary sacrifices, Jaime goes against the grain of his family, and Cersei will not hesitate to sacrifice her own children for her own gain. We end on a slightly negative note, so stay warm in the last month of the year and get ready for new and rewarding events. Thank you for today. Take care.